Being present and stopping the fight against things we can't control are like giving yourself permission to just live instead of constantly battling life. Hello, lovely, and welcome to another episode of Loving Life with Court. Today we are talking about a life that is loved is in the present. We talk about it all the time on the show, how important it is to be present in the moment when it comes to manifesting the life that you desire, being able to practice gratitude no matter what situations come up in your life, and overall, just really truly being able to live the life you love. Why is being present so important? Well, first, I could say that being unpresent in life leads to a very miserable life. I'm sure we've seen it. Maybe you're experiencing it yourself. That when you are unable to be present and when you're always focused on the past or the future, what happens is you miss joy in everyday moments. And even after achieving a goal, for many, if you're not able to be present in the moment, you feel empty no matter what you're able to accomplish because there's no gratitude for the now and for the moment that you are in this very second. So, how do we stop this? How can we be more present and really truly live a life that we love that embodies gratitude and presence? Well, in short, and that may not be the answer that you think, it all starts with learning to stop fighting things. When we fight situations, when they're constantly fighting against situations or circumstances or emotions, it can age you both physically and mentally. And what I mean by this is stress shows up on your body. When you're constantly stressed, it releases hormones like cortisol that messes up with your skin and making wrinkles show up faster, or your face looks tired, and it can also affect your sleep. So, really keeping in mind, this is just one clear example that when we start to stress over the small things and we have the inability to be present, it can show up on us physically, not just in a few years, but in a few days. And if this continues, it can drain your energy. If you're constantly fighting against life, whether it's a tough job or a rocky relationship or just your own emotions, this wears you down mentally and physically, and you feel heavier, like you've aged a few years just from dealing with the same problems over and over again. I know that I can think about a few people in my life that you can literally see the stress aging them. And imagine if what we see on the outside, what could be going on in the inside, right? And another example is that our body holds the tension of stress. So stress doesn't just stay in your head, it sits in your shoulders, your back, and even your face. And over time, this can lead to stiffness and pain and just feeling old. So the key is learning to let go a little, to stop fighting and start flowing and accepting situations as they are. And this doesn't mean giving up. It just means you're not wasting your energy fighting what you can't change. And you can focus on solutions or just be present and breathe. Now, this is just a simple shift, but it makes a big difference in how you feel and even how you look. And life doesn't have to feel so heavy all the time. Now, I know that's easier said than done. So let's explore some tangible ways that we can stop fighting things, which interconnectedly, it also helps us be more present. It's a very interconnected process. The first one that I will give you, and if you know me quite well, this is my first very obvious answer, which is using the power of breath work. As a breathwork coach, I have been able to see how impactful breathwork is for not just myself, but for the people I have the pleasure of breathing with. And when you feel overwhelmed, you can stop and just take 3 to 5 deep breaths. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. And this could be something as simple as You're in a meeting where someone criticizes your ideas, and instead of reacting defensively, you take a moment to just breathe, allowing yourself to respond calmly instead of fighting back. Because every time we fight, like I mentioned, our cortisol spikes, and it has such an influence on what's going on the inside, what's going on the outside. And really, if you think about it, it's taking time away from our life where we can just be in the moment, enjoying the now. The second way that you can just let go and stop fighting things is journaling to release resistance. So, writing down what's bothering you and then list what's within your control and what isn't. And this doesn't even need to be an activity that you put pen to paper, but just something that you can do, that you go through it yourself in your head when a situation comes up. Like if you're frustrated about not hitting a career milestone, asking yourself, what have I learned from this? What can I focus on to keep moving forward? And just let go of what you can't control. Something else you can do is like practice acceptance with gratitude. So, after a tough day, instead of ruminating on what went wrong, you can reflect that I'm grateful for the coffee I enjoyed this morning, or the walk I took, and the friend who texted me, whatever came up for you. Even if it's small, 3 things that you're grateful for at the end of each day. And this can help you to be more present in the moment and transition from this idea of fighting to acceptance with gratitude. Now, a few additional ways that you can incorporate new habits or even reactions to situations that come up that you innately feel you need to fight is physical movement. Physical movement is such a gift for us. And this is something, a journey that I've been on myself. Even when I just feel like stuck or frustrated, stepping outside for a walk around the block can really help shift your mindset and clear mental fog. I know that helps me a lot, and I'm sure it would help you. But you could also do things like guided meditation, limit overthinking with a timer. This is a big one that I do. So I'll set a timer for 10 minutes to think about a problem. And once the timer goes off, I move on. So if I'm thinking about something that I can't change, and there's nothing really I can do in the moment to solve the problem, especially if it's something in the past that I definitely have no influence on now, I'll set a 10-minute timer to think about it, and then I move on. Especially if it's something small, like, I don't know, someone cuts you off on the street, like the things that we fight throughout the day that just doesn't need our energy. For many of us, it's outstanding the amount of stuff that you may fight and you just have no control over it, but it's a reaction that's built, that's programmed into your mind. So, this is something that I experienced for a long time, and it took me quite a long time to get out of it. But now, through really understanding that sometimes fighting is just not worth it, I'm able to be more present and I'm able to just enjoy life more. And this leads me to my next point in really understanding how this all relates to being present. Being present and stopping the fight against things we can't control are like giving yourself permission to just live instead of constantly battling life. When we're present, we're fully here and we're noticing what's good around us instead of being stuck in what ifs or should haves. So, that mindset, it helps us appreciate life, which naturally makes us happier and more open to growth. And when we stop fighting situations, whether it's frustration with others or setbacks, or even how we feel, it frees up energy to focus on what does matter. Because when we're fighting, we're making a choice to focus on things that no longer matter. So you're no longer wasting time or stressing over things you can't change. And instead, you can channel that energy into things you love and goals you care about. And I'll give you an example. If you stop fighting the fact that you're not always where you thought you'd be in life, and focus on what you can do today, you'll feel lighter and more motivated. And being present lets you see opportunities and enjoy the process instead of constantly wishing you were somewhere else. So that is why so many people that I know, and I'm sure you know, they will live a whole life being focused in the past or the future, that it just ends up by towards the end of their life, or, once they're older and they don't have as many opportunities in front of them, they actually didn't do anything they set out to do because they were never present in the moment and focused on the opportunities that the universe hands to us. But we need to be there to listen and to see what is being offered to us. Like I said, being present lets you see the opportunities and enjoy the process instead of constantly wishing you were somewhere else. And that's how it builds a life you truly love, by grounding you in what's real and possible right now, instead of keeping you stuck in a battle you don't need to fight. So that's today's episode. I hope you loved it. Don't forget to follow so you never miss another episode. And I love you so much. A friendly reminder to not only be kind to others, but also to your beautiful, amazing self. I will see you in the next episode.